Welcome back, everyone, to Ferris Sports Update. Bulldog Hockey team is off to a 4-0 start this season, and with us, head coach Bob Daniels. And coach, your team posted a pair of shutout wins this past weekend against the number 20 team in the country, an RPI. 4-0 on Friday, 2-0 on Saturday. You've got to be pleased with how they played this past weekend.
Really, really happy about it, Rob. You know, for a wide variety of reasons. Once again, for the most part, we've been staying out of the penalty box. We've been getting great, obviously, defensive play. The goaltending by both Taylor Nelson and C.J. Mott has been unbelievable. And that was a question mark. If you remember, we've talked about it in the past coming into the year, is how were you going to be in net without Pat Nagel? And you know, I think the goalies deserve a lot of credit, but I also think their teammates, the defense, the forwards playing defensively as well. I think it's been a real team effort when it comes to playing good, strong defense. And it was you know, you look at different things and you talk about team victories. I think that, you know, 2 shutouts on the weekend, it belongs to the team.
As we go to the highlights of Friday night's game, 4-0 Bulldog win. Had a couple goals apiece from Travis Ouellette, a couple goals from Kyle Bonus. Great crowd on hand at the Ava Glaven Ice Arena for the season opener.
That was a terrific crowd, and we're accustomed to great crowds, and this one was even above that, you know. And I think John Coles and our athletic department and Dom Henning and yourself all deserve a lot of credit for getting the advertising and the crowd in. And it's our job, once they're in the building, to entertain them and get them to come back. And hopefully we were able to take a step in that direction on the weekend. What you'll see in the highlights is how physical this series was. Both teams are really strong, and both teams play a real physical brand of hockey. And this, I thought the week before was a physical series against St. Lawrence. But this series here, boy, was not for the faint of heart. And neither team backed down. And I think it's halfway through on Friday night, halfway through the second period, when the first goal was scored. And you know, Seth Appert, he was a goaltender here at Ferris State years ago, and he coached with us on our coaching staff. And you know, in a way, it was almost like an inter-squad game. Their systems and our systems were very similar. We're both committed to playing great defense. We're both committed to being real physical, and you could see it. I think if they were wearing crimson, we were wearing gold, it would have looked just like an inter-squad game.
You outshot RPI 30-17 the first night, and again, it was a nice job in net by Taylor Nelson in Friday's game.
It sure was. And you hear 17 shots, and you're thinking, well, once again, he maybe didn't face a lot of quality chances, but that's not the truth there. He did face some good scoring chances, and he made the saves we needed to make. And you know, with a 1-0 lead going into the third period, that was not an easy game. And had they scored early on their chances, it might have, you know, it might have been a 4-0 win the other way around. So, very appreciative of the net mining job that Taylor did.
Travis Ouellette scored the first 2 goals, and then Kyle Bonus with a couple at the end, one of them an empty netter, and that helped seal the victory on Friday.
Yeah, it did. And right now, Kyle Bonus with 5 goals on the year, he leads the nation in goal scoring. So, and Travis Ouellette's right there, and it's great to have that. I think we're the #1 team. I know we're the #1 team in the country in scoring defense right now, and then to have the top goal scorer in the nation too. You know, it's early in the year. It's a small sample size, but we're still really proud. We're really proud of what both Kyle and Travis have accomplished.
You get into Saturday's game, a 2-0 victory. You got a goal 55 seconds into the game from Nate Milam, his first goal, and then C.J. Mott did an excellent job in net and being able to preserve the shutout again on Saturday.
Well, it's funny. You look, maybe the game on Friday night was the story of our seniors and juniors, with Taylor Nelson doing well and Bonus and Ouellette. And here on Saturday, probably the story of the game is our freshmen, in that Nate Milam did score our first goal, and really the goal that stood up the entire game until we scored an open net goal, and C.J. Mott in net. So it's great that we're getting contributions from a wide variety of players on the team in a wide variety of classes. You know, you always want your seniors and juniors to lead you, but it's great when you get those contributions from the freshman players.
C.J. Mott faced a few more shots maybe than Taylor Nelson did the first night. 26 shots for RPI. You guys had 30 shots in the second game, 30 for both games in the series.
Yeah, you know, I would say that C.J. probably, they both faced similar quality of shots. I think C.J. was actually, it was kind of pedestrian and easy until the third period. And they hadn't had many going into the third period, but they had 13 shots on that in the third. And that late in the game, when it was 1-0 and we had to preserve the win or preserve the lead, that's when C.J. Mott really stood tall for us and made what would I consider to be a couple of spectacular type saves. here being one of them. We was very strong on a puck that was left out in front.
You talk about RPI, coached by a former player of yours and Seth Appert. I know it was a tough weekend for him, but nice to have him back in the building and his team here in Big Rapids.
It really was. It's great to see Seth, and it was a tough weekend for him. I'm sure he had a lot of friends and family that came back, and it's never easy to lose. But I think, today as a coach and him going back to his rink and preparing for the upcoming weekend, I think he'll watch video and be pretty proud of the way his team played, though. He'll know that they gave everything they had. I thought, when you're talking about athletics, and everyone wants to win, but I think one of the great things is, even in loss, if you can say, hey, we laid it all on the line, it was a bounce of the puck that went the other team's way, you can always find the desire and the confidence to play the following week. And I think their team will.
You talk about some of his former teammates and some of the alums that were back this past weekend to honor the second decade of Bulldog hockey. Talk about the importance of being able to win with some of those guys back in the building.
That was really important, and it meant a lot to them. It's funny, I don't realize sometimes what the program does mean to the players that have gone on, and it's great to have Dwight Parrish and Scott Bell and Kelly Sorensen and Kenzie Homer, and there was so many of the guys that came back, and to hear them talk about their playing days, and not only relive that, but then how proud they were of the current players. And we bring them in the locker room, we introduce them to our current players, and I'm sure in our current players' minds they'll never be in that position. They can't, but one day they're going to be in the exact same spot, and they're going to be so proud to walk in that locker room. And it kind of, it lets them know that there's a big Bulldog family out there, and when they graduate, they come back to our summer golf outing, they're going to really get an appreciation of what it means to be a Ferris State hockey player.
You took on the number 20 team in the country this past weekend. This week it turns up a notch as you take on one of the top 5 teams in the country in Miami to open CCHA play. What does your team need to do to get ready for this weekend series?
Well, this is going to be a tough series. This one and the one after that, the following weekend, we go and we play at the University of Michigan. And I think they're probably a top 5 team, maybe the number 1 team in the country right now. So we're going to really find out early in our CCHA conference schedule what we're all about. Now, I think we've got confidence. We're going to have to play exceedingly well in defense like we have, but there's not going to be much of a margin for error. These teams are going to be very powerful offensively. I think the whole discipline thing that we're trying to preach has got to continue. We showed some small cracks on Saturday and got away with a couple I thought we should have been penalized for. So as we're moving forward right now, we're going to have to be very disciplined, and we're going to have to continue to play great defense.
You've got your first 2 CCHA games at home against Miami, both Friday and Saturday at 7:05, and then you hit the road for 4 games. How important is it to get off to a good start here in league play at home?
Oh, it's going to be really important. We would like to come up with at least a win on the weekend. What's really been important to us is the student section, and hopefully they'll show up in big numbers, and they've always made the difference, and a lot of times they carry the night for us, so we're hoping for the same this weekend.
Coach, thanks, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, Rob.
When we come back, we'll talk Bulldog women's tennis with Tabitha Simpson. Stay with us on Ferris Sports Update.